Ocean on the Rocks. Coming back to you guys with another one. Recognizing the Game. Episode 48. La Familia. Black Flag. Ya tu sabes, you know what it is. So at this time, I was having a conversation with my brother and one of my homies the other day. And it confirmed something. It was really confirmation from something I had told him beforehand sometime last year when he was going through his breakup. And one of those things that I told him at the time, just to give him some foresight and direction, and this is connected to everything that I've been talking about before, just in terms of being the authentic self and being in tune with who you are. And I told him when we go back to last year, to that previous year, he was just concerned and worried about his ex at the time, and everything was heightened when it comes to the relationship. The past, whether it is good or bad, a positive or negative situation, can be exaggerated or embellished, or you can feel nothing at all. You can be kind of just still in a neutral state, depending on what stage you're in during the breakup process. But one thing I told him, I said, you step back and you redirect that energy towards yourself. You have to take that attention that you were giving to her when you were making her a priority over your own self, redirect it towards yourself to build yourself back up and to help you heal. That's the only way. The only way to heal is to tend to your own needs, not to continue to chase and run after something that doesn't want to be caught, that doesn't want to be obtained. They don't want you to have them. When you start stepping back and giving the self what it needs, you're not going to feel the same way about him or her. You're going to begin to look at things differently, because then you'll start to look at things from within. You'll detach from her, and then the energy will be released. You released her energy and everything tied to that situation. And so as you go back into yourself, you start to get aligned and in tune with your own intelligence, your own being. So when you get back and you reassess, or when you step back and you reassess and you're not consumed with the thoughts of her, your perception of her is going to change, especially when you make it through the phase of overcoming the sexual attachment, because the sexual attachment is in that root area, and it's also a part of your ego, and that survival, and one reason why you want to fight for the salvation of that relationship. So when you step back, you're reconnecting with yourself, because more times than not, you've disconnected from some aspect of yourself simply for the fact that you made that person a priority. That's something that would happen uh, in the universe. A relationship will fall apart because it is no longer in agreement with your soul, and you may be giving off an opposing energy to that person that is more so repelling them or repelling to them, and they end up backing away, ending the relationship and treating you based off of their energy, which is not attractive. So when you go back into making yourself the primary focus and you're no longer thinking about them, you're no longer giving out the energy that was creating the situation anyway. So it allows things to happen on their own. It allows nature to take its course. You're no longer trying to get back with her, obsessing and calling her phone. And as I stated in the previous video, that if you're trying to get your ex back, you running after them and forcing things is not going to get them back. You actually have to do the opposite. You have to accept the situation for what it is. And it's not something that you can fake. You really have to get to that point where you deal with your own negative energy, negative thoughts, anxieties, insecurities, doubts, and weaknesses, and look at yourself. Because for whatever reason, the breakup happened and you're meant to take something from it. You're meant to evolve and go beyond it. Look at the things you've been neglecting, and you're essentially being called to the path of your soul. And that's what's really important. The most important thing that you can do is live an authentic life that is true to you. But a lot of people, they don't have an understanding of themselves and they don't know who they are. So when you're practicing semen retention, that is something that's going to happen, because when I went through my experience, I know when I went through my breakup, and this was years ago, I used masturbation to deal with the sexual withdrawal and going through that process of releasing her. I used masturbation to deal with such a high sexual energy. And it took some time to become aware that we were having a lot of sex, too much sex, to the point that where it threw off my balance and other areas of my life began to be neglected. So then when the breakup happened, it was just like one thing after another, and it was overwhelming. I just had to get to that point where I was like, fuck it, because I have too much life to live. And you will see that when you start practicing semen retention, you're going to immerse yourself in nature and reality because of your sex drive. Your sex drive is driving you to experience, create, organize, and structure your life. You're going to have to exercise the energy and transmute it into other things. And that ties into the same principles in what you would have to apply to a breakup in order to heal. In this understanding, you'll realize how things are connected, because a lot of people, when they go through a breakup, is where their spiritual journey begins and their mind opens. Somewhere along the way, the relationship has disconnected them from themselves, and it's as if they are in a soul crisis. Now it's time for you to recognize what your purpose is and your soul mission is on this earth plane. There's something that you need to fulfill, and not being authentic and not knowing who you are from a grounded place of truth, that is what will ultimately lead you to having certain experiences and reincarnating, because we know that the soul doesn't die, that the soul is here to achieve certain things, to achieve an end and fulfill its purpose. But we'll have certain experiences that can throw us off and have us out of alignment. Even though it throws us out of alignment, it is still a part of our journey for you to evolve and gain more spiritual insight so that you can better attain it, so that you can understand your darkness, because darkness rules all. Understand your hidden truth. You will have to You have too many people and things pulling at your energy in the external world, and that's why a lot of people are not authentic. They are not balanced in a natural way, but in a toxic, subservient type of way. They're lost. They are not within themselves. They are not in tune with the being that is in their body, their soul, the intuition, and things of that nature. You know, and so the society we live in, the family that we're brought up in, what we're exposed to, is what ultimately affects whether or not we achieve what we're set out to do. And we do have many things stacked against us as men, especially those of us that are melanated. But as men in general, those that want to fulfill or have the desire to fulfill a greater life where they give back to the people and they enlighten the people. You know, the system that we live in the matrix, the fabricated reality. That is what I mean by recognizing the game. Love, salute,